Welcome to the tutorial video of Vateshran Arena. This is just to get the perfected weapons. I edited this video as much as I can to just basically show you me running through head on. I'll explain a little further on that, but anyway, this is my build. It's the Oak and Sork build that I cloned for my Nightblade, so I just subclassed Storm Calling, and since she can't use Hardened Ward from Daedric line as a Nightblade, I used the Templar Adric Spear. That ward is definitely not as strong as the Hardened Ward from Daedric Summoning, but it did pretty well considering she's a stage 4 vampire. Anyway, so yeah, you see here, you want more health than that for sure. Basically, at the end of the video, I just stuck all my health points, all my attribute points into health when I died at the last boss, because I knew that it just was too much pressure for that much health. Yeah. But anyway, this build worked out pretty good. Unfortunately, today was the update that nerfed Tideborn, and that really is a bummer to me, because this build is my adjusted Oak and Sork build, and it was so nice. But basically, it's the 5-piece Sergeant set with 5-piece Tideborn and Oak and Soul Ring, and 1-piece. I use Baron Thirsk. I just like Sustain more than anything. Anyway, so there's 3 portals, basically 3 portals, each portal having 2 main bosses. This is not yet the boss, but you have to get through 2 of these goons before the first boss, and then after you get through that boss, you have to go through 2 more of these kind of gatekeepers to get to the final boss. But anyway, you can see that I was invisibly sprinting through that, so you really can skip most of the mobs. You probably ought to skip it. You don't need to get essentially the perfected weapons are not hinged on whether you die or anything like that. You can die as many times. I even died at the last boss and took a day break, and when you come back to it, you don't lose any of the progression. I essentially was at the last boss fight. Anyway, yeah, see here, I'm mainly having to target that big guy. This gatekeeper, the Spriggans keep him alive, so anytime you see those Spriggans, you saw me target it earlier, I think it's back. You essentially want the kill priority list are the Spriggans and then Boar. And then after that, you just basically arrive here, kill the 3 Spriggans in the middle. They're pretty much just for show, so they're easy to light attack, or medium attack. So the idea of this boss is, anytime those Spriggans show up, they'll take powers from you. I don't know exactly what that means, but essentially they just siphon something from you and you're slower and all that. So you kind of want to kill 1. You don't need to kill all 3 that pop up, because 3 will pop up. Yeah, there's 2 now. You can burn through 1 if you want, but essentially you're trying to focus on the big one of the 3 big bosses will be glowing yellow like that. See, he just switched his yellowness to another one. I'll see in a second, because oh yeah, and you want to be able to block cast a lot. Basically, the trick to this build is constantly casting Ward and Crit Surge. I even cast them 10 seconds before they run out, just as a rhythm, and essentially you can see there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, now that yellow light is going to transfer over to a different one at some point, but basically you won't be able to fight the one that is not glowing, because they'll have a full shield on them. So the idea of this boss is to burn down the one that's glowing yellow. Oh yeah, and watch out for the AoE shockwaves. For stage 4 vampire, using a clone of a build that my Sork runs this really nicely too, but this tune ran it really great. I was pretty surprised. Essentially I died only twice, I think. Anyway. yeah, you can see that I'm block casting, keeping my crit surge up, and focusing on whichever one is the glowy yellow one. There we go. Yep, so that boss is pretty much straightforward, easy to burn. So there's deviations throughout these 3 stages or portals. This video is just to show you how to get the perfected weapons. In other words, you don't need to get the other achievements. Essentially, all the other things you do in here, as far as the deviations, you usually split off on a secret path and grab some orbs, some sort of glowing things, essentially to give you powers to make you more powerful for the end boss. They're not necessary. Essentially what they are additional challenges to get achievements. There's a speed run achievement, of course, and there's the no death achievement. But yeah, it doesn't matter. You can essentially see I skipped all them. This was great too, because honestly I've never ran this with a vampire, much less stage 4. Turned out to really work well. Don't know what I'm gonna replace the Tideborn set with. It's really bumming me out. Kind of bitter in the mouth over it, but I'll get over it. Same idea here, focus on the boss. Luckily there's no spriggans or anything of that nature to keep it alive. You don't want to, and you saw how quickly I burnt down those other things without even, I wasn't really focusing on. This is a tricky part here. This grappling hook here, you can fall off too easily. So you saw I was walking so I can aim correctly and not just fly off the dang tilted path. This guy is the main boss of the green portal. He's a challenging fight, but it's pretty easy when you... I don't know the mechanics too well with it. I ought to look them up, but essentially I've gotten most, if not all, the achievements in Vet without really knowing what was going on, except I'll explain what is going on that I do know. In the second, right now, he just kind of slammed the ground and he became shielded. Same color as the pad you're on. Essentially, when that happens, he summons those 2 spectral bow archers. What you really want to do is, he won't lose that shield until you get to a pad that's colored. If he's on a blue pad and he's shielded, you have to get to a red pad. See, right now he's about to slam the ground, and now on the red pad he's shielded. Throughout this fight, you can see this 2 times of his shielding. These guys begin to cast. Right now, my priority is to crisscross diagonally, or it doesn't matter really, but you want to end out on the pad that's not his color. And I forgot that one over there. Essentially, in 10 seconds, if you don't interrupt all 4 of them, they light an entire pad on fire and it's out for the count. You don't want to run out of pads in this fight, obviously. See, you quickly change colors. I have a theory that I have, basically, after doing this without knowing the mechanic of why he would shield himself often, I feel like it's because I mowed down the spectral archers too quick or something like that. Oh yeah, see, they're beginning to cast again. So essentially, you don't need to focus on those archers. You can, they do hit hard. What you really want to focus on is burning him down before he shields himself up, and making sure you interrupt those guys. So like that, when they started to interrupt all at once, you saw me go to town, bashing one, pointing diagonally across to the next pad. See, I ended up landing on the pad that wasn't the right pad. That's why I go crisscross and not like around the circumference, the square. Because essentially, if I start out going across ways and then go adjacently, like right here, I hit him first and then crossways, not to my right or left. Hit him. Now the last pads are going to be the red ones that are the color that he needs to, that he'll drop his shield. Well, see, I did this wrong too, actually. Yeah. Essentially, the last 2 pads and the crisscross, kind of lands it easier if you choose the ones. Basically, choose the first 2 pads should be the 2 colors that he is on, that he has been shielded for. See, right now I'm just gonna go adjacently to this pad, and then he's quickly gonna shield himself. So essentially now I had an idea that maybe I wasn't supposed to mow down these 2 archers so quickly. Now they're casting again. But you see how his health bar is going down. Essentially I'm kind of winging this like I always have. I really never... Oh yeah, another thing about this is anytime you switch pads, he quickly is tailing you. You can block or roll dodge. The thing that happens is he Hulk smashes the ground and launches you up in the air. You potentially can be launched off the pad if that happens. Not always. Like if he hits you and you go backwards and there's nothing but pad behind you, you're cool. But if he hits you in a certain way, clips you, and you kind of launch off diagonally or something, you can basically lose the fight. Luckily with these fights is if you died, you get spawned back to the point before the fight. So essentially if I died here, I wouldn't need to restart the whole thing again. I just have to go use the grappling hooks. See right here, he's tailing behind me. I think I didn't block. Oh, no. There was a point where I kind of was too slow and you can see me get launched back. See right now I'm just at burn stage right now. He's about... See, and he didn't shield himself, and I think, yep, see, I left a spectral archer over there alive. I think that has something to do with it. Alright, maybe it was a little bit earlier than the video and I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, you could basically go back and see through the fight. That essentially I'm trying to roll dodge. As soon as I use a grappling hook on a pad, I dodge out of the way or block. At one point I didn't do it. Anyway, yep, Portal 1, the green portal. We'll call this Portal 2 since I went here next. Doesn't really matter the order of the portals you do. It does matter for the final boss fight. I'll explain later. There is an order of the portal system that involves when you have to refight all the bosses and their ghost forms in the last fight. Anyway, so similar idea. This fire realm has 2 gatekeepers. They hit hard, especially if you're a vampire. I essentially ran by everything because the clan fears suck. Just focus on him. Focus on heals and shields in between every rotation. Essentially, the heavy attack build is great. You know, it's kind of a safety net for me because I know people that can melee through this vet arena, and I don't know how they do it. Essentially, if I didn't have a lightning staff, I couldn't do it really. Mainly because of the heavy attack is like a tether, and anyway, yeah. Right now it's just focusing big guy. This is great to run by invisibly too. You can use invisibility potions if you wanted. The difference is you can sprint invisibly as a vampire on stage 4 compared to sneak walking. Alright, here's the first boss of fire level. This one's a little bit straightforward in comparison to what you saw before. Just focus him and until you see Iron Atronachs or Daedra. So you do want, the kill priority list is get the Iron Atronachs that pop up here and there and the Daedras that pop up here and there dead before long, because they somehow seem to their fire damage seems to just stick or something. I don't know. Now the idea with the Iron Atronachs is this is a part of the effect that you can have in the mechanics. He'll die and you'll have a synergizable little seed thing. Stand over it and point cast over the hole that thing just popped out from. So essentially when you kill the Iron Atronach or during some stages of the fight, it'll just go swoop underground and pop up somewhere. It'll pop up and there will be a hole underneath it, in which case you have the option to synergize with that seed, basically throwing that seed or whatever at the hole. See, I did it wrong. I thought that was the hole. where the dang things are coming out. You do probably want to take care of the scamps. That portal where the scamps are coming out of, basically they won't stop until that big guy comes out. You know, you don't have to focus on the bosses of this arena. It's a slow burn. Suggested. It's pretty suggested throughout a lot of people's builds and stuff that you don't want to burn through them. You just, you know, kind of want to slow burn them. See, right there's a hole where it popped up from. He stays there. You throw it at it, and he's incapacitated for like 5 seconds. Really not long. There is an achievement to do this whole fight without touching those seeds. Essentially, I'm pretty sure I went through this whole arena also never synergizing with these, what do you call them, sigils, which essentially gives you more points if you wanted that, but you can have the lowest points score in the leaderboard of this, which is, you know, you can die as many times and all that, and you'll still get a perfected weapon, and it'll still be sufficient. It'll still be, should be catered, I believe, like, in other words, one that you haven't received before, so as you collect them, you shouldn't receive a double before you've kind of collected most of them, if not all. These things are now going to pop up after this first boss fight. They're pretty important. Essentially, you're going to have to run across the lava, and the only way to keep you alive is by getting the shield that you get from heavy attacking. See, you have to stand next to it too. If you're standing any further away, you miss it, but they do respawn. That was a little confusing for me at first, but yeah, you see I'm hightailing it because I think it's a 10-second shield or something. Basically, it runs out. I did feed this part of the video just a tiny bit. Essentially, this 46-minute video is as short as I can get this without doing a disservice as far as the tutorial. Those guys, yeah, you do want to keep healing, block casting, some. They draw hurt in most vet content, especially this one. See, I'm getting ready in position. Now, you want to hug the right side of this section. You don't want to have to fight everything, especially that big fire bone giant when you get to this pad right here. And you also saw that potentially you get to those pads that I skipped and then reapply a shield. That shield lasted for me sprinting that entire way, and it's worth it, because right now I died. This is one of the points I died, and it's because you want to burn through all these little ads before you focus on Big Daedroth. If you don't, somehow you can't cleanse or heal through the fire damage that keeps on getting hit on you. And right now I'm just like trying to, yep. Now, I never tried this before this video tutorial. When I came back here, you'll see me here. So I'm back at the point where all those ads that you don't want to fight are still in front. Hug the right side. The bone giant kind of goes back and forth. So you saw him the first time going left. He was going to double back the other way. Essentially, you don't want him to fight in this part. Mainly because you can fight them on that pad potentially. Yeah. See, I never tried this before. I hit that shield just to get some effect, thinking, wondering if it actually protected against the fire damage from him too. Lava damage is not considered. It's environment damage, particularly. That's why NPCs can run through it and not die. So yeah, he's dead. That thing popped back up. I reapplied the shield. This is the last boss up ahead through that little door thing.
So, you wish to beat destruction?
Yeah, so this boss particularly sucks in a couple of ways. One of them is because of the last boss fight, but I'm not going to just jump around subjects yet. I'll explain that when we get there. Those fireballs shooting at you are essentially like the Dragon Knight's Flames of Oblivion. You want to heal through that. I was taking it on with a block. I tried to roll dodge through those two. So like, okay, I kind of got ahead of myself. So basically, these four orbs will appear in the corner of those. That's four. When he goes to the stage of slamming his sword in the ground, the whole thing will turn to lava and it will kill you faster than the lava itself. Essentially, you want to have that shield around you and start kiting things in the lava while the floor is lava. It'll go away pretty quickly. If you hit the shield as soon as he did this sword Arthur slam in the ground trick, right now he's gonna do it after the flame. So this is the part of the fight how it works. He does this thing right now. You want to keep applying your heals. Essentially, my heals are only possible through attacking him, heavy attacks. I keep on spamming my shield and my crit surge, heavy attacking, and he just slams his sword in the ground. This thing was ready on the side. You know, I made sure I was near it. Heavy attacked it as that happened. Essentially, I still want to, this is why range is, the lightning staff is the only way I can do this. You still need to heavy attack him with crit surge active in order to stay alive. The fire damage, even if on my non-vampire real orc, see, I made a mistake here. Lightning stabs, heavy attacks are AoE damage, and if you hit that or hit something next to the orb with a heavy attack, that orb will just get destroyed. So I'm trying to avoid him right now because I know that right here. Oh, and I used the wrong. See, I used my ultimate heavy attack, and which definitely did an AoE heavy attack, and then now I have a shield around me premature, and now he made the floor lava, and I'm in trouble because essentially my thing just ran out right as that happened. So I'm trying to continually cast my ward and stuff, and that thing reappeared right in time. Yeah, so like I was continually casting ward and crit surge, heavy attack, ward, crit surge, heavy attack. Really, people see now this is the stage. He does something different after the third round of this whole shit. Also on that note, anytime those skeleton things come out of the portal when he does the floor is lava, you want to kill them. You don't want to be fighting two of them at once. Essentially, if you don't kill one of them, by the time he does the whole shebang, another one will show up. You can get like 5 of them on you before you know it. But like 3 times in, he's kind of winded right here. You see after he does that whole charade. This is really the only, it's pretty straightforward. It might have been confusing at first in the way I worded things, but like this fight is honestly an easy one, except for that boss just hits so hard and chases you around with, like, you know, those guys hurt worse than other bosses in my opinion. Now this is the third portal, the last one, the blue one. This one is mechanically confusing in a way. You'll see why. So again, same concept. Gatekeepers are now going to be these guys. Kill through them. I hate these things because essentially you see her, there's no cooldown for this effect. Essentially you get stunned like that right before she summons her heal balls. You want to kill those heal balls, but luckily lightning Palpatine hands is won't allow them to get near without them getting destroyed. The heavy attack AoEs are great. Don't want those lightning things to hit you. I kind of was like going back and forth dodging them. It's still great. Definitely a great reason to sprint while invisible. You don't want to fight those because all those winged twilights will just come barging in if one of them sees you. Yep. Now the first boss of Blue Portal. This one I got caught up on with a stubborn thing because the only vet achievement I have left to get is one involving this boss, and I just remembered it and last minute thought, you know, maybe I can get it. And it got me killed. It didn't work out. It was not worth it. But on that note, I'll explain. So 2 guys here. You want to burn down both of them at the same time. If you kill one first, if you kill one first and then the other, it doesn't really matter. They both berserk at the end when one of the other dies. This big guy will slam his club into the ground, resulting in an explosion. You'll see that kind of circular AoE here, right there. See that circle thing? If you're anywhere near that, it will kill you instantly. You essentially want to get him, because now that boss is shielded. So the purpose of this is, by this point, he's going to slam, and you want him to slam on the boss. Right now I'm hanging out there, see? Bam. Now his shield's down. Now you want to burn that boss as much as you can before he shields himself again. And these Bankin are annoying. Always interrupt him when he does his Freddie Mercury fucking staff in the air casting. When he holds the staff in the air, those AoE projectiles will kill you pretty quickly. See, right now, what am I doing? See, essentially, I'm trying to get the achievement. The achievement involves killing more than like 5 of those little annoying gremlin Bankins in his AoE. It's tricky to do that, so you need to do that. Essentially, they'll follow you around, and you want to like have them corralled in an area right before he does that, and kill them in the AoE. But you know, it's just a little confusing because I can't figure out how to do it, and I got caught up with it instead of prioritizing the actual fight, which got me killed at the end because I ignored him too often. Like, you know, the longer that guy stays alive, especially, the harder it is to fight. Because see, right now I compromised myself, so I needed to pay attention. You always want to be around him, close enough to him to interrupt him, unless you use Crushing Shock. I usually use Crushing Shock on my original Orc and Sork build. I love it. It's hard to replace it, but recently, see, I was too close to the AoE because I was overwhelmed. So essentially, I was like, screw it. I ain't gonna worry about this achievement for a while. It doesn't matter. It's not important to get the dye or the skin. So right now, I'm just kind of like now properly doing this fight, except I still didn't interrupt him in time, and I should have. Which it didn't kill me at that point, but it's just so much pressure and damage that it risks a lot. So right now, I should be hanging around him in a way. He'll also jump around, so just keep that in mind when you're trying to get his shield down with that effect. It's pretty easy to line up the big guy's Hulk smashing the ground with that wizard's location. See, he's gonna change spots, and his shield, oh yeah, there he is. I interrupted. Damn, still, I guess I was a little bit fixated on those banking achievements still. Alright, right here. Come on, what am I not doing this? Son of a gun, yeah, there. There he is. So now I'm gonna start my focusing, burning them. He'll kite right after that. He's not shielded quite yet. You still want to have interrupting, like be able to interrupt him throughout those periods. I never killed the big guy first before. I usually killed him first, and the big guy becomes berserked. Basically colored red, and he'll have much more damage on you, which isn't a big deal. You just want to keep casting your heals and roll dodge out of his stuff, essentially dodge him a little more than normal. This time I killed the big guy and he went red, in other words, berserked. Pretty sure that's what that color indicates. They go into some sort of buff that acts like major berserk. Anyway, so now synergize with this portal glowing next to Ghost Friend, and this point is like a trial. You want to just run through it. You're going to have this thing effect on you that makes you slow and laggy. Don't fight anything. You have to go to those benchmarks, those glowing little balls, and synergize with them. If you don't, you get sucked back to the beginning of that annoying ass little track. The goal of that little segment is to connect these bridges on your way to the last boss. So essentially, they're not at all meant for anything except to stall you. See, that bridge needs to be assembled. I went across around this thing because the Sauron blue eye thing will see you invisibly. Essentially, now I'm in another trial. I want to synergize with this first ball. That thing, the blue ice is what's slowing you down. Essentially, when it starts looking at you, you can look at you from afar. It works against you, but like honestly, you saw how I just muscled through it. It's not that quick. If you distract yourself trying to kill things, you won't make it. But essentially, if you just mow through things, yeah, see, that's one of the deviations. I forgot. So yeah, this portal is the last one. Yeah, essentially, this is the last benchmark now. And essentially, if you died up ahead in this fight, you won't have to do all of this over again. Thank goodness. Alright, there we go. Bridge assembled. Now for the last boss of the blue portal. This is a kind of a trickier fight than all of them, I think. The Minotaur and the Fire one has always proven to be a little easier for me, this one, but I made it. They're all doable. The mechanics are, don't get hit by that fire wave. If you do, that's no big deal. You can block, roll dodge through it. You have to get up here when you see a portal actively ready to kill these things. They'll accumulate pretty quick. Like if you get too hyper focused on burning him down, in no time you'll have 10 of those things laser beaming you from up there. And then I get hyper focused on this thing. I try to kill it. This thing has a health bar that's kind of stupid. Oh yeah, and then I get hit by that thing. Well, I guess I killed it. But those things are slowing you down, but they're not the reason why you're gonna be in trouble. Being slowed down isn't a big deal, because as soon as you take the portal back up top, you're basically lose that effect that's damning you. But you see all those laser beams up top, it's because for each like 5 seconds another one shows up. So then I need to like, and I screwed up, because essentially you want, this is kind of like Maelstrom. You'll get knocked off here if you take too long. You want to burn through them as quickly as you can and not be next to them. Okay, it's the next time I go up that you'll see how I screwed up. Essentially, I wasn't prepared for one of them doing their spinny knockback trick, which you can, roll dodge or block through that. I particularly roll dodge through those. Essentially, if you get knocked off of there before killing all those things, you have to wait you have to wait longer than you want to get back up to kill them, in which case you're getting hammered by phaser beams. And they do annoying damage. See, there's the portal. I'm trying not to die. Lucky. Man, they say crit surge only heals with crit damage, but you see, all I'm doing is heavy attacking and then healing. I don't know if there's a guaranteed crit within a heavy attack, every heavy attack, but essentially, I always only ever use crit surge and a ward, and the ward just buffers my health while I'm like building health back up, and the crit surge always heals me. It never fails. It's crazy. But I could not do this with an ice or a fire staff, I guarantee you. Essentially, the lightning staff is like a homing missile that you see, I'm like panning my camera around watching everything else while I'm heavy attacking it. So as soon as I get a lock on my heavy attack on the main boss, I can turn around, I can spin around, and my heavy attack guarantees a landing on him. Alright, this is a point where I'm like kind of getting zealous. We dodge that. That fire damage does a lot. And now I let too many of those things. I think I missed the part where I got knocked off prematurely. I think that's why there's so many up here. Right, yeah, there's the one that knocked me off. As soon as you get up here, one of them will try to do that if they're close enough to you. If you remain at far and take too long to burn them off, some effect will just launch you off here anyway, and it's basically the eye of Sauron that does it. Like that. You see, I didn't really jump down, but I got zapped down. Didn't take long at all, but essentially, this was pretty straightforward. Yeah. Now that all 3 of those are done, you have to walk into the center portal thing and go through it. This last boss, alright, I'm gonna have to really explain. It's a nice little disclaimer here. You essentially will be fighting all 3 portal bosses in ghost form throughout this fight. Throughout the fight, you'll burn her down to a little, like, low health. She'll nuke the floor. She'll have an orb over her head when that happens. You essentially can't kill her. You have to do this 3 times before you can actually burn her down. Because if you're on that floor when she throws that big energy ball down, it's a wipe. Right now, what I'm doing is trying to focus on those skeletons. Those skeletons are supposed to like come at you slowly throughout this first third of the fight. You don't want to have to fight them when they come at you. You can burn, like right now I'm trying to burn them as much as I can now. Anytime these portal, see there's the portal bosses from the green portal, the archer. They hurt, and you want to burn everything. The kill priority list, oh yeah, and when these guys show up, you absolutely have to. You can use streak to get through them if you're close enough. But this thing will laser me. See, I got way too caught up. And then this next time, though, I didn't. Essentially, the kill priority list is all of the small ads. The first, really, it should be the four big skeletons if you can nail it. Usually I hit all of them at once and let them run at me right when the fight starts. And when you get through, when she does her wipe here in a second, see I'm also reallocating stuff here. When she does her wipe mechanic and you avoid it, you return to the fight and she is regenerated. And it basically starts over again in a way that those four skeletons will be back in chains around the thing. So essentially each stage of the fight that they return, you want to hit them and burn them down. Maybe at least just two of them. But essentially they come at you at the worst of the time. You saw how they're like getting in between me and those things I was trying to kill that were going to laser us down. See, I hit that. Let's see that. Anytime that archer shows up, definitely hit them first. Start blowing them down. She's about to summon her sisters of laser beams, and essentially when that happens, I need to just focus on one and stay on the one that's not gonna get cock blocked by these skeletons. See, they'll try to run in between right there, and it's annoying as hell. Essentially lightning helping hand is. So one way to avoid this mechanic, nice, is to streak through there. But if you streak and your streak ends you out near the laser, essentially if you streak too far away from them, you'll die instantly. You want to be within 4 feet of their laser and pointing right perpendicularly at the laser. In other words, cross the T with the laser. Don't go into angle or anything. Those lasers are the annoying. Some of the this is really the most annoying thing of the fight, other than the fire casters that you'll see here. See, now I'm kind of like on track. Now these guys will show up with the archers. Kill them before anytime they show up. The archer's about to show up, and those void plasmas too. Really, the small things gotta die first anytime they. I think. All right, now that she'll do this throughout her health bar. Anytime, I think it's at 75%, 50%, 20, 30%, something like that. But basically, you can burn through her quickly enough to where it'll skip it. In a second, you'll see what I mean by that. Her health is not low enough yet, but you see around this pad, there's floating pads with some lights on them. Those are gonna be important here in a second. You'll see. See, I'm trying to burn her as fast as I can before she summons her sisters, because she's about to do this. See, she has the orb above her head, and it's about to nuke the whole place. I choose this portal first. There's 3 pads. You do not want to choose the fire pad first. I went to the one that is basically at the Hercene realm. So the Minotaur realm pad I went to first. No, I guess not. This must be. Anyway, there's 3 of those little pads that you're going to end up using to avoid that. While you're here in this spectral realm version of it, avoiding her AoE, her health is going to regenerate slowly. You don't have to worry. Essentially, it can go back up to 100% and you'll be fine. You want to burn through whatever is the main boss of that, which was the wizard, and then find this little thing to synergize and come back to. Come back to the middle quickly because she's about to summon her dang sisters again. Focus, whatever's on the field, focus on one of these to get free of it before anything else. I use my lightning hands, the trusty Palpatine. Essentially, this AoE heavy attack will, no matter if he's like blocking trying to stand between you and the little thing, your heavy attack will kill both of them. Alright, so you see there's that portal, there's these pads around with those orbs. You'll learn which one is the fire pad. I'll point them out maybe towards the end of the video or something. You do not want to hit that fire realm version of it first in this fight. Basically, I chose one, and then I have to choose a second, and then the third part you choose, and then the fight is towards the finish. You will not do an AoE nuke mechanic when you go through the third portal. Right, here's the second nuke that she does, and I choose the flowery pad. Now, these Minotaur guys will start appearing on the pad after you clear this little thing. Each time you come to these spectral realms, the fight will include having to burn down these guys showing up randomly. So like the archer and the void mage, and then now the two Minotaur bros. And then when you go through the fire portal thing, the spectral realm, you'll have Mr. Claymore, Zivkin guy, fire, Dramora, and the worst thing of this arena really is the fire casters that come with that fire realm. You'll have two enemies to fight from that. So right now I'll have two Minotaur ones to fight. When you go through the fire one, which is the last one that I've left to jump to, you're gonna have fire casters show up. They are gonna become kill priority number one. Anytime they show up, even if these guys are coming close, you gotta somehow, if anything, you'll have to interrupt them, because when they do the Freddie Mercury staff in the air, the projectile fire machine gun at you, you will die almost instantly unless you interrupt them. That goes the same though with these Minotaurs too, because the AoE damage sucks. But essentially you can escape that, kind of like kite dance around while trying to mow them down. So like essentially now, I'm trying to focus enough to where I can get her to, because as soon as I get her health low enough, all the fight will stop and she'll nuke the floor again, or try to, even if her sisters come up, which is about to. Oh yeah, so now she says something there, and basically you just have to keep an eye on her holding the orb above her head. Now these guys suck. Like, forgive my English, but suck ass. That Firecaster is the one reason why so many people die in the final boss of Vateshran. That guy with the sword, he sucks too, but essentially you won't be fighting him after this period. You want to mow this guy down to get out of this realm, but what follows you is going to be those Firecasters. They gotta die as soon as they spawn in the final fight. This is essentially why you don't want them to show up in the earlier part of the fight, because if that fire portal was the first of the three that you went into to escape her AoE, you would have to fight Firecasters basically throughout the whole dang thing. And that, just like right now, there's a Firecaster, they're unstunnable, and as soon as they hold their staff up in the air, you've got to interrupt them and then continue whatever you're doing, or kill them. Ooh, see? So essentially, I kind of called it quits after I died at this stage, because really the gist of it was evident, and I logged back on the next day and continued on it. Essentially, you can jump right back to the last boss fight. Sadly, I did not record that second attempt because I was just kind of fed up, and I did it in such smooth. I did it in one go. I logged back on and then ended up clearing it. Because everything's fresh in my head. This is the first time in like probably 1.5 years since I even done Vateshran, full run through in it. So right now I'm just trying to burn her. At this point, she won't nuke the floor again. You can focus on her as best you can until you have to deal with firecasters and all the other list of things to worry about. Essentially, I'm not trying to burn those skeletons around the corner down. Anytime those guys show up, it's on like Donkey Kong. You can't let them live, or I can't, my bar is pretty, oh, right there, that caster was causing trouble. Essentially, this is what killed me, because that caster needed to be interrupted, but as soon as you don't even need to touch it, you go near that thing and it basically kills you. So this is the next day. Here's the proof that I cleared it, and I really bummed. I didn't think I'd clear it. I just went in and I just did it, bang, 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 all 3 stages. You have to do the 3 spectral portals when you fight her again, but essentially I went through the same ones that you saw before, and I did. And basically what happened was I stuck all my attribute points into health 1. Didn't change anything else, still using Sugar Skull, still got the same old build. But yeah,